Well, our moms think we're funny.
Please be advised, this episode contains flagrant use of the N-word from our special guest. But he's black, so it's okay. If this offends you, please skip this episode and join us next week for a brand new attempt at humor. Or get over yourself and stop being such a n***. Thank you. KorovaEntertainment Management.
Was that my pencil? Because
what the fuck?
I love that scene right there. It's kind of cheesy looking, but it's also so creepy too. It's Friday the 13th, the scene where Freddys in Nightmare on Elm Street. When Freddys in the alley and he stretches his arms out to block her from leaving the alley.
And this is right after the scene where he starts pushing through her ceiling.
Which is also a great scene.
Oh, it's great. It's beautiful. But it's really obvious how they did it, but it still looks really good.
Yeah, that scene looked dope. But the stretching the arms, I don't even know if that was necessary. It's already freaky enough to just see a guy coming down with his outfit on, first and foremost.
Yeah.
So Freddie's outfit was like, bruh, the fuck?
Oh, Freddy.
I like how he keeps looking at his hand like, huh? Huh? This is freaky, right?
You see that?
He cuts his fingers off. He looks at it like, huh? Huh? Almost like a magic trick, like he had done where'd my thumb go? It's like, ooh. This is a great scene right here.
Oh, nice. Oh, people are going to be so jealous that we're watching Friday the 13th without him. Nightmare on Elm Street. Damn, now I'm doing it.
Uh-huh.
It is 3:15. We've got 2 episodes worth of material here, if not more.
Wait, so we got to finish up Infinity War. So this is what happens to us all the time, right? So Infinity War, you got all stuff going on. You got
He beat his ass with her. That's the shit I like. I like when somebody beats somebody with somebody else's hand, body, leg, arm. Like, that shit is dope. If I had the power, not that I'm a violent person, I'd like to beat somebody with somebody else. If you had a problem with 2 guys and you grab one of them and beat him with the other one, that shit would make them never want a problem with anybody.
That's like some Double Dragon type shit.
Double Dragon, yeah. Well, it also happens in Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, and River City Ransom.
Oh, yeah.
We used to pick the ninjas up all the time and beat them with the other one.
Oh, River City Ransom. Our greatest accomplishment, our greatest failure. So, I don't know, what are we missing from Infinity War at this point?
Oh, well, I mean, we haven't really talked much about the Order of the Black Hand or whatever it is, Thanos' people. But, we talked about Ebony Maw, Corvus Glaive, who really is kind of bitched out in that. And then, Proxima Midnight, she's badass. But I think when they went to Wakanda and Captain America shows up and they go and they get the White Wolf and all that, and I just them handling that part of it with the whole Wakanda thing, it was kind of neat. And I love the way Rhodey turns his back on General Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, you signed as a chorus. He was like, yeah, I did. And anyway, I thought all that was cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was really good.
Have you seen the How It Should Have Ended Spider-Man Homecoming?
Yes. Yeah.
When Rhodey shows up and he's like, you put a parachute in his suit. I need to put a parachute in my suit. John Saxon.
Hell, that's why he put it in the suit. He saw having the roadie. He was like, I'm going to add this.
Oh, right, the parachute. Why didn't I think of that sooner?
It's hard to believe all the things Tony thinks about, prepares for, and does, and he didn't put anything in there as a safeguard for if the suit gets knocked off course.
He put an airbag in the faceplate.
Right, but nothing to save you from falling out of the sky.
Oh, here's the thing, right? And I think it's one of those things where Tony's a very smart man, but sometimes smart people, extremely smart people, forget about the little things, right?
Well, that's why intelligence and wisdom are 2 different stats in D&D.
Well,
so okay, let me ask this.
Hold on. What I'm getting at is that one of the first things that Tony learns in the suit when he flies too high and he encounters the icing problem, right? Because he mentions that to Warmonger later. It's like, how'd you solve the icing problem? He's like, what? He goes, you should look into it. And he knocks him down. But part of that is also, right, is I'm falling. How do I stop myself from falling? Especially if I can get the suit to come back on. Parachute. That was that's the thing he encounters in the very first one. But he still never puts one in the suit ever.
Because he's arrogant.
Right. And because that little touch right there, just that escapes him. Because part of that is also the fact that I'm never going to be able to. So a parachute says, I've given up. I can't save myself, right? And so something like that, it's like a safety net. And he's like, I don't need a safety net, right? I'm Tony Stark. What I need to do is build a better suit so that I would never have the icing problem. But he never thinks about what if, something else happens.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right. It is a matter of arrogance in the fact he's almost like a Kirk, like I don't believe in a no-win situation.
Yep.
Okay, but when Rhodey got hit, he crashed into the ground, right? Shouldn't even in a dysfunctioning mode, shouldn't the suit have been able to have absorbed the impact?
No, because if you remember, the suit doesn't have any padding inside it at all.
But he takes hits from other things when it's active.
And when he does, when you see him get out of that suit, especially in the very first movie, he's got marks on his neck from where the joints and and everything, where he got hit and it pressed against his skin. So
no, I'm saying like some of the impact hits he took in the suit, even during the fight, when everybody was fighting and everything, like he could have took a severe injury then.
Well, so he takes hits, right, and that absorbs it absorbs like the hit, but there's still some inertial impact. So yeah, when he hit the ground, right, it absorbed a lot of that hit, but there's still the speed of of hitting the ground.
Sound like Tony ain't on this A game or don't give a fuck about his
it's kind of like they say, when you fall, it's not the fall that kills you, it's a sudden stop. You can only absorb so much of that, but inside his body is still moving, the same. So even though the suit may have absorbed the actual impact, his body goes from this to this. Still, even though the suit...
This is the Iron Man suit, my G. That shit should have been like, oh shit, nigga, I fell off the table.
But the Iron Man suit also, it doesn't have any kind of cushion or padding inside.
I think the fact that it's the Iron Man suit kept him from dying. But, can't...
So we just
it was why when he
Tony be fucking up.
It was why when he took the mask off, right, he didn't just pour out of the suit.
Cause you know what? Black Panther ain't had to fall from 1,000 million feet up to say, I need to make sure when I fall, this shit works.
Well, he doesn't have to because it's made out of vibranium.
Tony be fucking up.
Which is also why Black Panther doesn't make any noise when he moves.
So Tony be fucking up.
Well, no, Tony just didn't have access to vibranium because Tony is a complete bitch. I mean, I love Tony Stark, right? But in the end of Civil War, right? He's
Tony
like, you don't deserve that shield. My dad made that shield. You give it back. And Captain Man's like, man, you had this fucking shield, punk ass bitch.
I give it to him too after I kicked his ass with his suit.
Right. What I hated about that whole ending is that I've always said that Iron Man is basically Batman without mommy and daddy issues. And Civil War completely undid that argument.
Well, without mom and daddy issues or the ability to fight hand to hand. Because Tony ain't no fighter.
No. Well, the suit does fighting. The suit beat Cap, not Tony.
Right.
Because the suit analyzed his fight pattern. And then it just...
But he still got his ass kicked because the suit wasn't able to adjust to Cap's adjustments.
Yep.
Well,
remember when he tried to approach Winter Soldier the first time? Like, there was no chance. Like, you're not finna beat Winter Soldier. Like, even if he was just regular Winter Soldier with his regular arm, like, fuck, he was gonna kick your ass because you don't have no hand-to-hand combat skills.
Yeah. And I remember so the first Iron Man comic that I really read was Iron Man trade that I got was when he was really starting to first descend into his alcoholism, and Justin Hammer had found a way to take over his suit and was controlling his suit and made him kill some kind of like dignitary or whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so he had to give S.H.I.E.L.D. his suit, but he strips all the circuitry out of it first. And of course they destroy the suit. And then he was like, and of course they're under the impression that that's the only suit he has, and blah blah blah.
Right.
So he goes to Cap and asks Cap to train him how to fight. And Captain America goes, okay, he's like, the first thing I need you to do is like, take a swing at me, right? He's like, take a swing at me. So he does, and he grabs his arm and throws him across the room. He's like, first thing you know is if someone tells you to take a punch at him, right? He's like, don't do it, because they obviously have a reason behind that. And then he trained him how to fight, and that's the only way he knows how to fight. Which is one of the things I don't like about Superman. Is like Superman's all brute strength. When people say Batman can't be Superman, I'm like, yeah, I know he's got the strength and all that kind of stuff, but what he doesn't have is he doesn't have any fighting skill, because he doesn't have to, because he's all brute strength. Once he just get a hand on you. But the thing is, part of knowing how to fight, especially if you know like 20 different martial arts styles like Batman does, is my job is to really keep you from hitting me until I can find a way to hit you. Now, granted, you just punching Superman is not really going to do that much good, whether he lays a hand on you or not. But when you're Batman, you always put something a little extra with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, Iron Man can't fight. He doesn't know how to. He never had to learn how to.
Yeah.
And side note, I heard that nice conversation y'all having with the gentleman who just hates anything dealing with Batman not being like a really sweet guy who tucks the villains in at night. It took everything inside of me to just stay out of that conversation.
Well, I didn't engage him in that. I just let it go, because he's like, I like the nice, warm, and gentle Batman. Like, that motherfucker dresses up as a bat and goes around beats criminals.
He watched his parents die.
Yeah.
It's going to be something a little bothered inside of a person who experiences such a thing.
I mean, I always thought it made a lot more sense for Batman to be more merciless.
Dude.
I don't know if I told you, I actually had a conversation with somebody who didn't like Dark Knight Returns.
That guy didn't. Because he kept saying, I don't like nothing Miller did with him.
Okay.
He said he didn't like anything after Miller. I'm like, how would you not like The Dark Knight Returns? There's so much about that to love. But I mean, like, it's okay. The stuff that came before, where Batman was doing more of the detective stuff and things like that, but Batman was fucking up a lot. So I mean, look, I like Jim Aparo's artwork, right? And I love Luis Garcia Lopez, right? But the stories themselves were not that great, because they never went as dark as Batman started out. Back when Batman used to carry a gun, Batman used to shoot people and push them off the cliffs.
And when you try to bring that up to the Bat purists, they're like, yeah, but the gun was just more like there. It's a gun, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Period, point blank. It's a gun. Like,
dude,
didn't he shoot kids in one story?
Probably.
It was like kids that had been like zapped with some ray that made them giants, and they were shooting them with like stuff to shrink them back down or something. I can't remember.
I remember when I read Batman the Cult, that I think, didn't Jim Starlin write that? It was Jim Starlin, I think Bernie Wrightson.
I remember seeing the title.
And actually, the one I have is a misprint. I've got like 2 of my pages out of order, which I never realized until much later. Because I was like, why is the story jumping around like this? But because this cult comes in, takes over Gotham, and Batman gets kicked out, and he comes back to Gotham in like the Bat tank, and he's like shooting rubber bullets at people and shit. And it's so fucking badass.
That's
dude.
awesome.
But again, because people don't realize that Batman is an excellent marksman. He doesn't use a gun, right? But part of him being an excellent marksman, right, is that if he does have to use a gun, he won't kill anybody, so he will shoot properly, and he will like use a gun and shoots rubber bullets or something like that, because he's done it several times before.
Yeah.
I just always found it funny, like, people been mad about Batman using the gun. People been mad about Batman punching the shit out of somebody. Like, I thought that fight in BVS when he went in to say Soup's mom was like just some dope shit. Like, that's a fight scene I wanted to see Batman have.
Oh yeah, that was like from a cinema standpoint, that is what I've wanted to see from Batman for my entire life.
Oh, dude, when he jumps off the Batwing and comes into the window, and you get to see the silhouette of the bat,
so beautiful.
And then they do the line from The Dark Knight Returns where he's like, "I'll kill her," and he goes, "I believe you." And then I was like, "Oh, that's the shit right there."
Yeah, there's so many things that Snyder visually he gets how to do comic book movies. Even some of the paneling and the way that he sets certain scenes up.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't, I don't care what anybody says about being tired of Batman's origin. That opening scene when the parents get killed, like that was one of the most beautifully sad but beautiful things put together I've seen in a long time with a comic movie, period. Like even outside of a comic movie, like you felt the power of that moment when the gun went off and the pearls snapped back, like the angles of it all. Like that's one of the things that the powerful things about this dude. Like regardless of what you feel about his overall writing, which I agree, the execs at Warner Brothers fucked a lot of that stuff up by jumping in and cutting this and changing that and wanting to do this and that. I even heard a dude be like, you know, when Josh came in, I'm like, no, you tried to tell him like, well, that's two different vibes when you put those two people together. And he's like, no, but you know, like that's the stuff that I loved. And I'm like, shit.
But the thing is, when you look at it, there's a lot that they say Snyder was actually putting some more humor and lightening it up, because if you watch, Justice League actually goes from being dark movie to a light movie. Like the palette actually starts to warm up, and that's all intentional.
Right. I think that was Snyder's, when they put all this in his hands, even with the Superman stuff, I felt like he was trying to build up and get to this place with Superman's character becoming who people, you know, who diehard Superman fans wanted him to be. And every time I try to say to a Superman fan, like imagine, you know, you have all these powers, but you're raised by humans with morals and principles and fears and all these other things, and you're trying to balance and figure out how to do the right thing, and constantly having to make choices and judgments, and even realize even with all this, I can't save everybody. I can't do everything. And then you have to take a life. You know, we're assuming this is the first time he ever had to actually make that choice to take a life. How does that impact someone?
That and the fact that everyone's like, Superman doesn't kill. I'm like, have you ever read a Superman comic? You know how many times he has killed General Zod in the comic book? This is not the first time. You know, and the thing is, remember in Batman Begins, right? When he's fighting Ra's al Ghul, right? And he's like, are you ready to make that choice now? He's like, I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you either. Right. Which is pretty much the same thing as killing somebody, right?
Making the choice to live.
But people know they don't say that, right? It's like, well, he didn't kill him, but he didn't save him either. Right. And knowing he was going to die, if you don't save him, that's the same thing as killing him. Mm-hmm. So Superman killed Zod, and they're like, you know, no, it's not fair. But Zod put this, because I love Zod, and we're way off topic here, but I love Zod because Zod's whole thing was, I was genetically created to do one thing, right? Protect Krypton at all costs. And I have no control over that. That is in my DNA, right? Mm-hmm. Like Kendrick Lamar, like that is in my DNA. I have to do this. I can't fight this any more than I can fight the wind in Night Shyamalan, right? And the thing is, so when he's going all out, he's like, I don't give a fuck about your Earth. All I do is care about is bringing Krypton back. And then Superman destroyed that. He destroyed that whole thing. He's like, my one purpose in this life, you've taken away from me. I have no purpose at all. I technically at this point have no life. If you have destroyed that, right, then I'm gonna need to, even if I destroy everything you love, it's still not gonna give me purpose. Mm-hmm. So Zod put him in a position that he would have to kill him because he needed that release. He needed not to live anymore because Krypton couldn't be brought back. And he was basically like a space Ronin. Only even worse because at least a Ronin can still just wander around. He had no purpose at all anymore. And people don't seem to recognize that. Now, I'm not saying
they don't want to recognize
I'm not saying Man of Steel is a good movie because it's not, right?
I think it's a good movie. I'm not saying it's a great movie, but I think it's a good movie. And I think
I had like a lot of problems. I was bored, honestly.
Little things that they did that Zack chose to do, even the way Superman took off. Like that was powerful. That was those details that you didn't really get in other movies. Sometimes because they didn't have the technology, other times because people just didn't consider it. And I can tell Zack, and this is not to be funny, but I can tell Zack's a fan of Dragon Balls. There's certain things that he did with the powering and the taking off and the ground moving. Even Zod was very much Vegeta.
Oh, absolutely.
Like he was very much the prince, but not in the position of being a prince, but that whole like, this is who I'm supposed to be, like you just said.
He just basks in his own power.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's totally Vegeta.
So, you know, there's so many things that Zack did right, and I was looking forward to where he was gonna go and handle it. Personally, I also felt like I wished he just would have been able to handle Batman. I wish they would have just let him do a couple of Batman films from the jump.
I was so excited about seeing a Ben Affleck written, directed, acted Batman, because I was like, that's going to be so awesome. And then I think Warner Brothers just started fucking around with things, and then Ben Affleck was
bought in.
No, he bought in Matt Reeves, right? Because
Okay,
he was like, you know what? Because he had with Chris Terrio, whatever it is, right? And then he was like, you know, I'm gonna bring in Matt Reeves, right, to help me like write the screen. No, because he brought in Chris Terrio to help him write the screenplay. He was like, you know what? Because he had that fight. I think what it was, he had that fight with Warner Brothers, where Warner Brothers was like, we want to start production this year. Ben Affleck was like, look, I'm not ready to start yet. The screenplay is not where I want to do. I want to do this movie justice, right?
Right.
And then he had that thing with Warner Brothers. They were like, okay, fine, we're gonna back off. But it threw their whole movie lineup, like release schedule out, and I think they took that away. And then they started putting pressure on him. He's like, okay, fine. Then I'm just gonna write it and I'm gonna direct it. I'm gonna let Matt direct it, right? I like Matt. And then Matt kind of flipped on him, probably because of the studio. And he's like, yeah, I don't really want Ben Affleck in it anymore. And he's like, and plus, I don't really like his script. I don't get my own script. And I think it was just more of this, like, they were just basically saying Warner Bros. Was giving a big fuck you to Ben Affleck in the same way they did Scott Snyder. And
which is crazy because Snyder has made Warner Brothers so much money.
Right. And, you know, and I'm a longtime Snyder fan, right? And I'm not saying what he does is perfect, but I'm a longtime Snyder fan, and I will be a Snyder fan because he makes mistakes, right? And every director makes mistakes. He makes mistakes, but he has a vision for these movies, or had a vision for these movies that I've talked about so many different times. And there's so many great things. So in Man of Steel, right? One of my favorite scenes in Man of Steel is when Superman's fighting Zod, and Zod ends up like his X-ray vision cuts in and it cuts the floor underneath Superman, and he just hovers in the air. And I'm like, I've never seen that Superman movie before. He would fall and then recover, but in this one, he's smart enough to just like, oh, the floor dropped, I can fly.
Right.
That was beautiful to me.
Oh yeah.
And then that opening scene in Batman Superman, where you see, well, first off, like the guy's on the phone with, Bruce Wayne sees what's going on, and he flies straight there to Metropolis, and he gets in that vehicle, and he drives, and he runs into that cloud of smoke and stuff, and like dust and debris and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole scene, then when he watches, and I love the way they cut that to where you see like the fight scene, and it ties directly into the exact fight scene, the angles and everything from Man of Steel.
There's so many things he did brilliantly with all of that.
And then he looks up, and again, you know, like his whole thing of why he's Superman, but he looks, and there's like the Wayne Financial thing on the ground. He's holding a little girl, and he looks up, and all he sees is like, you brought this here. You came to this planet, brought these guys here, and look at what you've done, right? And I think he goes back and he talks to Alfred, and he's like, look, we've been fighting all these like chumps and everything, like the Joker and stuff like that. Not to say they're not threats, but they're not the same kind of threats as these people from outer space.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and if I don't stop him now, there are more coming. And it's not even a matter of like I need to send a message, but I need to step my game up, because right now he's the only one that you know of. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that's doing this.
Yep.
I also thought it was unfair that people didn't accept the seemingly instant connection between Bruce and Clark with the mom thing, but they was cool with Bucky snapping out of it when him and Cap had their little eye contact moment.
Yep.
And I'm like, it's the same thing. Like,
you know why? Because what happened with that was someone made, and I've seen this a lot with so many things, right? People start jumping on the bandwagon of hate. Someone says something, I didn't like this, right? And then they start making fun of it, and everyone else decides they're going to jump on it too and make fun of it, because that's the end thing to do.
Yeah,
right?
They just hate on it because it's trendy too.
Right, and that's it. And it's like the whole Martha thing. When I explain that to people, you know, and I've explained it so many times, I'm really sick of talking about it. But see, when I explain that to people are like, nah, it doesn't matter. I'm like, no, that makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it absolutely does. But like, and this was the same guy I was talking to a while back who didn't like Dark Knight Returns. He was saying that like he didn't like Batman versus Superman because Batman was an asshole throughout the movie, and I was like, but look at what they're depicting here. They're depicting the Dark Knight Returns Batman.
Right.
It's like he's been at this for a long time. He's jaded. He knows that what he's doing isn't really working because, okay, what's he going to do? He's going to beat up Joker, throw him back in Arkham, and he's going to get out again. And he's going to kill people again.
He's lost people.
He's lost people.
Like
He's lost to Robin. It's like he's dealt with loss. He's extremely jaded.
He's dealt with loss again
Mm-hmm.
after feeling helpless to do anything for his parent.
Yep. It's like, so he's jaded. He's really broken in a lot of ways. And then Superman comes. Of course he's going to flip his shit in that case.
And
how can he not?
Let's not pretend that Batman hadn't been an asshole in many ways prior to people in general. Like, that's just part of who he is at times.
I mean, people mention that when he fought the KG Beast, and it leaves him locked in like the sewer with no way out. And it's like the KG Beast pretty much died. You know, when he made his way out, but as far as Batman knew, he had no way of getting out of there, and Batman wasn't planning on coming back.
Yeah,
you know. So again, I'm not going to kill you, but you know, I'm not going to save you either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the same thing as, like I said, like letting somebody die. So yeah, Batman, like you said, has been an asshole in a lot of ways.
Right.
And many times he's been an asshole.
Hell, even his interactions with Robins over the time frame, like, you know, call it being a tough parent or whatever, but you know, which is why he often bumps heads with people close to him. Him and Alfred are assholes to each other. Like,
Oh yeah.
you know, there's love there, but there's still those moments, like, and that's part of who Batman is. That's cool. Like, how else do you hang out with all these superpowered beings and put yourself in a position of dominance without having the physical powers that they have?
You know, I can sum up Batman in like a couple like really quick sentences.
Billionaire genius, playboy, philanthropist.
There's a episode of Batman Beyond with Shriek. The first time that Batman fights Shriek is when Paxton Powers. Is it Paxton or is it the other Powers? I think Paxton was the son. It was the Powers, right? And he is trying to make Bruce Wayne think that he's crazy, right? And he's hearing these voices and stuff. And he goes into the mental institution. He's hearing these voices. Anyway, so Terry finally figures out what's going on, and like stops Shriek because Bruce. Terry, I think, takes the bandage off his head and finds there's like a little like a receiver or whatever right in there, and it's like this guy had been sending signals to him, making him hear stuff, and no one else could hear it because this thing he put in the band-aid on his forehead when he like hear it.
Yeah.
So he's like, how did you know you weren't crazy? And Bruce goes, he goes, the voice in my head kept calling me Bruce. That's not what I call myself. And Terry goes, what do you call yourself? Oh, that's my name now. And that sums up Batman to the core. Bruce Wayne is an identity that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Batman is who he is.
Oh, absolutely.
And he does not like Bruce Wayne because he sees Bruce Wayne as being this playboy jerk or whatever. He's Batman. The thing is, Alfred raised him, but when he talks to Alfred, it's never Bruce Alfred, it's Alfred Batman. Mm-hmm. And he treats him like that. He may call him dad and stuff like that, but he is still Batman, and I play Bruce Wayne. And he interacts with Alfred as Batman Alfred.
Yeah.
So that really is kind of a dick move to do to somebody, you know. That would be like that would be like if I became a CEO and I talked to my mom like she was one of my underlings. Like she reported
you
to me.
Your mom, like, hey mom, was you there when Jesus did blah blah blah? And, hey mom, did you get some of that bread Jesus was passing out? Your mom's gonna kick your ass one day.
Maybe. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I was like, I think Mom was actually on the jury for the Cain and Abel trial. She was like, that ninja's guilty.
Stop.
But yes, like, speaking of Batman's interactions with Robins, that's one thing that I love about his interaction with Robin in Dark Knight Returns is that he always calls her a soldier.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, when the strap breaks and she falls and he grabs her and everything, he's like, good soldier.
Good soldier. And like when they first meet and they head back to the cave together and Alfred's like, oh, who's this? And Batman's just like, this is a soldier. This is Robin. She is a soldier.
I love that when he says, "What's your name?" And she goes, "Carrie Kelly, Robin," and he just takes it.
Takes it so good. Dumbasses don't like that comic.
How could you not? I mean, I'm not. When people say this is the definitive Batman, it's not because of like, oh, he's a hard Batman. It's the little things like the dichotomy of his relationship with the Joker, where when he retires, the Joker goes into a catatonic state until Batman shows up again, because he doesn't have a reason to exist if there's no Batman.
Yep.
When he encounters Harvey Dent after the face change,
Oh, so good.
and he's like, look at, what do you see? And he says, I see a reflection. That is beautiful.
That's so good.
I mean, those are the scenes that really make the book.
Oh yeah. And like when he's trying to decide to become Batman again, and like the window pane makes a cross on his face, and the bat keeps fluttering in front of it. God, that's so good.
Oh, the scene I love with that is when Alfred says, Master Bruce, whatever happened to your mustache? And he reaches up and he touches his lip, and he subconsciously shaved off his mustache because he's going back to work before he even realizes he's going back to work.
Oh yeah.
That's the shit right there, man. I was like, those are the things that when you look at that book, it's like, it's one of those things where like, you can't not do this. Even you may take a break sometimes, but you can't not do this. It's in your blood, it's a part of you.
Yeah, you can't turn it off at all. And I love like the undertow of resentment that he has for Superman all throughout the book. Like that first time he sees him, he's like, there he is, perfect as always. It's like so good.
Yeah. And when he says, he goes, and Ollie, he's like, yeah. He was like, I regret what I did. And he's like, yeah. He was all torn up about it too. I was like, oh my god. And then when Oliver Queen shows up, he's like, you fascist sons of bitches. Like, that's the shit. And then when he beats him, he's like, in this one moment, I want you to know.
Yeah.
Oh
man, that's one of my favorite moments of any comic. It's just of him humbling Superman like that.
Oh, it's so fantastic, dude.
Oh yeah, good stuff.
But those are the moments, man. Those are the moments. And again, the whole thing is like, I'll kill him. And it's like, I believe you. Yeah.
That movie was great, man. Even the physical fight between them two was done well. You know, Superman attempting to restrain, but at the same time trying to like, Bruce, I could kill you. Like when he put his hand to the armor and barely pressed and threw him across the roof and taking the shots from the guns that were set up and grabbing the metal and like everything about it was just dope. But assholes don't get it.
Yeah.
And they don't want to own up to it, so they want to sit back. And I liked Wonder Woman, but
Wonder Woman was severely flawed.
Like,
it was good. It was severely flawed.
It was good in a lot of ways, but like Ares, how they handled Ares, how he looked, like he looked like, man, what was his name? Many Faces. Like you could have turned the top of his head and another face would have came out, like the old man face with the swole body. Like I'm sure there's a guy like that out here somewhere. But come on, bro. Like,
okay,
come on. Like,
well, one of my problems with Wonder Woman was, okay, so she blocks the bracelets and everything. The blocks bullets with her bracelets, but she doesn't have to.
Yeah, she's bulletproof.
She's bulletproof, but they never really portray her as being bulletproof, like in some things, because it's like, okay, she takes punches from Ares that knock her into the ground. If you can take a punch like that, you can take a bullet. So I'm like, and then. On Paradise Island, with Themyscira, right? She dives in the way to protect Princess Buttercup, right? And Princess Buttercup dives in the way to take bullets for her mother. But she's bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
So you died for nothing. You died to maintain a secret. And some people are like, well, she wasn't bulletproof until she did. And I'm like, no, she was bulletproof because she was their weapon against Ares. She was always bulletproof.
Right.
I mean, that was all just kind of, that was all weak. And then
the girl get the horse off the other girl.
What really killed me, right? What really killed me with that movie was how it's like, I'm Steve Trevor. I've got a dick. I've never seen a dick before. And then next thing you know, it's like, yum yum, give me some. I'm like, oh no. That whole thing with her fucking helmet and everything. I was like, no, this. I get it.
Romantic night under the stars.
Right. I mean, she just gives up that easily.
Sell a ship and chill.
Not to mention the fact that her big, tight, muscular Amazonian ass would have ripped his dick clean off. And I'm going to tell you right now, just regular old Steve Trevor hitting that, she didn't feel a damn thing.
Oh,
She was like, oh, no wonder the girls lesbians. And it was like, if this is what a man has to offer. I mean, this wasn't like snoo snoo. This was, I was like, that felt so forced. It felt like it was straight for the women, right?
It had to have been.
To be like, oh, you know, it was like, but not in a good way, in a very demeaning way. Like, women want to see this. They want to see Wonder Woman fall in love or get her, like, you know, her Harlequin romance on with Steve Trevor. And then, of course, have the tragic love story. I mean, like, yeah, like, whatever, dude. Yeah,
well,
still a better romance story than Twilight.
Not by much.
Yeah. But, you know, guys, going back to Batman Superman, you know, I know some people complained about the scene where, you know, Superman's like, is she with you? And Batman's like, I thought she was with you, right? And people are like, well, you know she wasn't with him because you've talked to her like, that doesn't mean he knows she's not Kryptonian.
Yeah.
She tells him nothing about herself. He knows shit about Kryptonian because, again, you haven't had that interview scene like you had in the Dick Donner Superman where he's like, I'm from Krypton. I do this. I do that. Now, Lois Lane may know, but nobody else knows.
Right.
So yours just expects Batman to assume that she's from a planet of Amazon, island of Amazons that no one's ever heard of before or seen, and like, come on.
All he knows is that she's old as hell and powerful.
Right.
And, I mean, she's wearing a costume similar to Superman's. Same
color
color scheme.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they both have black hair. They're both completely jacked. Why would he not assume that they're together?
Right.
People just get bitchy about stuff for no good reason.
Okay, so see this commercial on TV where this you know, makeup spray paint thing, and they're showing, look at me. It's like, I look like the Crypt Keeper, and now I look like Elvira. Okay, you know what? That's a fucking lie. You were lying to everybody. They're like, you know, look, and for one thing, that makeup didn't make that bitch look like that, right?
Nah.
You know,
that was way more than some makeup.
I ain't never
right? But
seen
I'm like, you are straight up lying. Okay, if she looked like that, now she looks like that. That's a fucking lie. I mean, that's as bad as stuffing your crotch, stuffing your bra, you know, wearing lifts. You know, I'm just saying, that's a fucking lie. We're not talking about fake nails and extensions here. We're talking about I'm making my face look completely different and everything than we actually really looked and pretending like this is how I look.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like makeup. I feel, and a lot of times it's weird because some women will be like, if you say, I think you're beautiful as you are, you can't tell me what to do. Whoa, I didn't say what to do. I'm just saying, I think you're beautiful as you are. Makeup makes me feel better.
You know what would make you feel better? This bitch.
Why are you doing it? Because, you know, it makes me feel beautiful. Well, you don't see it until you go to the mirror, so how do you know how beautiful it is?
And besides, I mean,
day?
since you can't really trust your eyes, how can you trust that mirror? Maybe that mirror's lying to you. Maybe now you look ugly before you were James Blunt beautiful, baby.
If I can stand here and see a different tone between your neck and your face.
Oh yeah, when they're with the makeup mask.
Basically.
You gotta blend that shit in, yo.
Even with blending though, a lot of times you can still see like the way sun hits it or any moisture hit. Like
Okay, well this is why. And I'm gonna tell you this as a person that grew up in a single parent household with my mom who wears makeup, and I've been seeing her put on makeup for years. Back when she used to like go all out, when she used to like curl her eyelashes and shit like that, right? I mean, and I know these kind of things, which sometimes it's embarrassing to be talk about this stuff, right? But when you put on makeup, right? First off, you don't. Some women cake that shit on, right? And makeup is not meant to hide your flaws or whatever. It's meant to accentuate your beauty. So you don't wear tons of it. That's one thing, right? And two, you've got to put on a foundation. You've got to put on a powder, right, to matte that down so it doesn't look shiny. It doesn't look thick and glossy. It doesn't look like a wax. It doesn't look like you can like scrape that shit off, right? And then you put it underneath your chin, but not down your neck. You put it just to underneath your neck. Then you've got to blend it in.
so you don't sound like too much work.
Dude, I'm
like,
telling you right now, when I was younger, my mom would get ready for work, right? It would be like 45 minutes of her putting on makeup. And I'm telling you that, man.
I
Like,
mean, all due respect.
putting on eyeshadow, and then she'd have to blend the eyeshadow in, and then doing like that. I mean, I would sit there as a kid. I mean, I'm watching her do this and everything.
Yeah.
And you know,
I'm seeing when we put the tutorials up, and I'm sitting here watching like, Spider-Man gets dressed for action way faster than you do, and I'm like, my God, like all that for what? For who? But if that's what you like, that's what you want to do, cool. It's just weird to me that people get offended because someone sees beauty in them before putting on a mask, without putting on a mask.
well, this thing is like no one cared who they were until they put on the mask. That's a girl bane. You're just like, but I'm just saying. But that's the thing. It's like that. It's just like anything else. They hide behind a different mask, a different facade. You know, it's all psychological.
It is. It's very much. But I just fall back like, okay, cool. Hey, if that worked for you.
Now, I've seen some girls, I'm like, she's cute, but she would look so hot with a little bit of makeup. Not tons of makeup, but just like, maybe like do your eyes, a little bit of lipstick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
See, I don't have a problem with something here and there, like, but when you start, boom, blah, blah, boom, boom,
It's just like plastered on.
then it gets to a place
Oh,
where
and it's
I'm
shiny.
like,
Ugh.
No shiny.
but I ain't got no problem with none of it because they're not my women. I'm not. Well, let me not say my woman as if I own women. I'm saying it as in like, I'm not dating that particular person, so it's cool. And let me say on the record, I think it's fucked up what some people try to do the Superman because he said he ain't flirting with nobody and catching himself in a Me Too situation. I don't think he should have had to apologize for that. That shit is serious. Like, no, not playing them games. Y'all not finna get me. I ain't even finna give you a reason to think.
Dude, I was at work, and one girl that came back from maternity leave was talking about, how she has to go into the lactation room for, the breast pump and everything. And we were sitting there, it was like, I was sitting talking to my boss, and she was talking about some stuff and everything. And she started talking about that, and I was like, well, it's time for me to go back to my desk. Now, she wasn't saying anything bad, but I'm like, I'm not going to be present for that conversation.
It's not comfortable, right?
I don't know. It wasn't even a matter of being comfortable. It's like, I don't need to be present for that situation. I'm not going to be present for that conversation.
But
But
it's a double standard thing, because like that's okay. But if a guy was to talk about certain things that they just felt like this is some normal guy shit, it would be like, oh, that's not comfortable. We shouldn't have to hear that in the workplace. And not saying that was her. That's how she think. But it's one of those things I hear people talking about a lot, especially with the breastfeeding thing. I had no problem. Feed your child however you feel, but don't tell me, the child was hungry. I had to feed it then. Well, I have kids. They get hungry at certain times in general. You have feeding times. You could always prepare a bottle if you could. Scenario, I was talking to people, I'll keep them nameless, about restaurants who sometimes have policies. And that some may say, well, you can't breastfeed because some patrons are cool with it, some patrons aren't. So the question was, well, they need to figure out some kind of way to accommodate. Why accommodate one side and not the other? I said, well, what if you went to a restaurant where they had a section where if you wanted to breastfeed, it was set up where there was comfort, there was a little privacy, and moms who wanted to do that or families could be there, and people who weren't for it could go and sit on another side. And they was like, no, that shouldn't be the compromise. A woman should just be able to feed where she wants to, when she wants to, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, cool, to a degree, but you're in someone else's establishment. And in their establishment, they're trying to cater to as many people as possible to maintain the balance. So if you was given that option and someone is trying to compromise, they're telling this group of people, hey, if you go on that side, people are going to be breastfeeding. If you don't like that, you shouldn't go over there. And hey, if you want to breastfeed, the people that choose to go over here don't like that, you shouldn't go over there and do it. And you choose, because one argument was, well, I'm going to go over there and breastfeed anyway. I said that to me, that feels like you're looking for a problem. Yep. No different than the person who doesn't like breastfeeding saying, well, I'm going to go over there anyway.
And complain
about it. It's like, whoa. Like,
so the lady at one of the girls in my book club, right? She had a child like last year, right? We were at book club and she had to breastfeed, right? So she gets her baby, She gets a little blanket that she had. She drapes it over her shoulder, right? Next thing you know, she's breastfeeding. Just because you can breastfeed in public doesn't mean you got to whip your tit out and show everybody. You can do that discreetly, right? So there's not really a problem. I think the problem comes from people that are like, oh, you don't like this, whatever. Like, it's just like I've had these scenarios where, you know, I've been talking to some girl and she like starts adjusting her boobs in her bra and stuff like that, or even like reaches into her shirt and like moves it. But if I were to reach in my pants and start adjusting my dick, it's like,
you just made a gesture.
Right. It's like, whoa. And the thing is, okay, so Wally, right? When you do make a movement, right, people generally, they tend to follow that movement with their eyes. So if you reach into your shirt and start, you know, like readjusting your boobs, I get it. You know, this movement, it's going to kind of move around a little bit and shift. I get that. But if you start doing that, my eyes are naturally going to move to where that movement is. And I'm not looking at you, right? But you just did something in front of me.
I saw the movement.
Right.
And once I realize where you are, I'm going to adjust my movements accordingly. But yeah, the initial things, that's almost anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Because as a guy, when I walk, my balls and shit don't stay in the same place. When I move, there's Roger Rabbit.
No, man.
When I'm moving everything, I'm moving around. Yeah, my balls and shit move and turn and everything. And I'm like, I'm just saying. I mean, you know, and sometimes I gotta adjust. And guys always have to do that on the down low.
Yeah,
it's like I gotta like sit down in a chair and I gotta scoop my chair up underneath my desk and everything. And then you can't be caught with your hand and your crotch underneath the desk and it's like, what are you doing? I'm like, you know, so what am I supposed to do? I have to get up and go to the bathroom and stuff like that. And then sometimes, by the time I go to the bathroom and I adjust, I walk 3 steps and shit shifted back to where it was in the beginning. I'm like, motherfucker, you know?
It's a no-win. It's a no-win for a guy. Like,
Yep.
And it's messed up. And some people don't look at it like that. They're like, well, guys should just, and it's like the toilet seat thing. My personal belief is, if you feel that, you know, men should remember to put the seat up and then put it back down, then you should have the same, especially if you're living in a situation where there's a male and a female living together, then you should have the same courtesies when you leave from that situation. If you put the seat down and get up after doing your business, put it back up for the guy. Like, I just feel like if we're going to be equal about these things, then let's be equal. You can't pick and choose and say, I want equality in these things here, but over here, you know, treat me this particular way.
Yep.
Like, I just think that's kind of fucked up.
I'm going to say this, though, about that whole toilet seat thing, which I've never had a problem with it because I always keep my toilet seat down anyway because I'm like, it's got a lid on it, it's got a cover, there's a reason for that, right? But if you're going to the bathroom, and I get it, as a woman, right, you don't have to worry about aiming. You sit down, it goes. As a guy, I got to worry about aiming. So I can't normally pee in the pitch black. I have to be able to see a little bit of something because even when I'm like, okay, I'm going to stand right here, I'm going to aim straight down. Sometimes straight down ain't always straight down.
Which is another thing.
You could be like hitting a rim or something, you know.
Most women don't get that, though.
But if you're going in the bathroom in the pitch dark and you just sit your ass down in the toilet, that's your own damn fault. Yep. I mean, that's some stupid shit. That'd be like me walking into the kitchen and just putting my hand on the burner and everything. It's like, I assume it's going to be off. You know? I mean, like, that's just some dumb shit. I'm going to check it first.
That is how evolution happens.
Well, okay, well, I'm going to say this, right? If that's the case, then we'd all be dead because all the women would die, and then we'd all be sitting around trying to figure out a way to procreate, but none of us want to carry a goddamn baby. And then the people that will, like, you know, take a dick are the ones, they still can't produce a baby. So...
Pause.
I'm just saying, you know, so...
Yeah, I just feel like if this is what it's gonna be, then this is what it's gonna be. Like, don't put these expectations on me to do certain things and you're not willing to do them as well, or share in the joy and the responsibility of. Like, damn it, yeah. And when I pee, no, it doesn't go straight. Like Jarrell said, you focus, you try to aim, you try to be on point. It just doesn't happen that way sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you know, in science class, they taught us, in chemistry, they taught us that you never add a base to an acid, you add an acid to a base.
Mm.
Why is that? Because when you're pouring it, what you're pouring it into is going to splash out. So what splashes out, you pour an acid into a base, so what splashes out is the base, not the acid, right? So let's take that same principle. I'm peeing in a toilet, right? I'm peeing, right? So, which is the equivalent of taking a squirt gun and squeezing it but it's a continuous stream, right? So it's going to hit and there's going to be some splashbacks. And you're like, can't you aim? It's not my aim, it's fucking splashback, which I can't control.
I have no power over that.
Right, unless I'm going to piss in a tube, right? And the only other way I can like stop it is if I flush and then pee while it's flushing, right? And I'm sorry, but normally my pee and like how long it takes for a toilet to flush, they're not synced up, right?
No.
So I'm like, yeah, I mean, unless you want to say, you're like, okay, come with me. I'm gonna pee, and you're gonna watch me do it, right? And that goes to like a whole weird fetish thing, because like the next time she's like, hey, you gotta go pee. I want to watch. I'm like, all right, come on. No, so I'm just saying, man, it's just.
I think the whole fetish conversation should be had pretty early on in the dating phase, because you don't want that sprung on you. Like, excuse me, you want me to do what on your head?
Yeah, okay, well, let me ask you.
Yeah, baby, on my head, mountain lip shirts.
You're blind now, baby.
You guys are sleepy.
Can you pull that up?
Yeah.
You gotta read that for Wally. You gotta read that for Wally.
So we got kind of derailed from Infinity Gauntlet, but I think we covered pretty much everything there.
The petal falls twice.
Petal Falls Twice. Okay, so we're gonna end this off with a reading of The Petal Falls Twice. So what's the backstory to this? Okay, yeah, that's right. I remember now. So this was presented in the book Serpent in the Rainbow.
Is it Serpent and Rainbow?
Is it?
Or is it
Gravity's Rainbow?
Gravity's Rainbow.
Gravity's Rainbow.
By
That's
Thomas
right.
Bishon.
I get those two mixed up, but
Just a quick edit. The Petals Fall Twice was written by Chip Zdarsky, comic book writer and artist and co-creator of Sex Criminals with Matt Fraction. And Turk meant to say Zack Snyder, not Scott Snyder. Thank you. KorovaEntertainment Management.
yeah, it's like a philosophical novel, somewhat akin to Atlas Shrugged.
No, I think it's more along the lines of what's that other book that I haven't finished reading yet? That 1,000-page book that's like fucking nuts. Shit! I have to pull it up on my phone. It's the one by the guy that killed himself after he wrote the book. Well, it wasn't right after he wrote the book, but oh my goodness, I can't believe.
That would be a hell of an exit, though.
Yeah.
The end.
I'll have to pull it up because we started reading the book and I couldn't get. This is the book where the guy like made up words and shit.
Oh yeah.
And then like wrote.
Are you sure that's not Gravity's Rainbow?
That's not, well, Gravity's Rainbow is. I'm saying it's like this book right here.
Okay.
And it's just like okay. Anyway, so yeah, Gravity's Rainbow is this weird book about a guy who every time he gets an erection, like missiles fly and everything from like it's
Same
bizarre.
here.
All right, so we just passed it.
So yeah, we're gonna do this reading here to wrap up this show. The Petal Falls Twice. She slowly licked and tickled his peenie, and because she was so smart, combined the words in her head like an expression explorer of old. Slickled, she thought. I'm slickling his peenie. No matter how brilliant her wordplay, the result was the same. Gary's peenie was now erect. It felt like a quality bar of peenie-scented soap in her hands. Without warning, she gave it a swift headbutt because men liked that. All men like that. Whoa, Melinda, that's the good stuff. That's the stuff that makes me forget about my problems. Melissa derived satisfaction from this comment despite the mangled pronunciation of her name. She could feel her horny levels rising to 30%, and her hoo-ha was getting right slimy with anticipation of participation. I'm just going to pause here and say this is like the kind of shit Chris Chan writes. Okay, this whole like horniness levels rising to 30%, that's totally Chris Chan. Okay, anyway. Gary, me need sex now. Inside, please. Damn, Melissa thought. I wish there was a better way to say that. Gary was only too eager to comply. He wrenched his peenie away from Melissa's grubby paws and thrust inside her hoo-ha with a thunderous orgasm. She was pregnant, but that could be dealt with in the morning, provided she was still alive. Outstanding stuff, Melanie, Gary chortled. I know I could just go to sleep now, but I would like to continue satisfying you, sans peenie. Gary nudged downward, and his peenie was nowhere to be seen. What in have you mind, eh? Just sit back and relax, kitty cat.
Melissa did just that, falling back onto the bed and stretching her perfect 7 body, eager for Gary's attention. He started working his magic immediately, and she felt an all-too-familiar heat rising from her breasts. Gary was crouched over top and pooping all over her unbelievably average body. Gary, so stinky. That's just the poop, baby. Just let it work its magic. I can't see anything. That's because you're blind now, Mildred. It's like a bad drug trip.
I don't know what that was.
He never calls her the same name twice. It's always a different name.
Mildred.
I don't know what that was. Nor do I know why I continue to allow myself to listen to it. Maybe hoping
that it would eventually make sense.
It would all make sense.
I text that to friends and family members all the time.
Oh man.
Because it exists as a JPEG.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so awesome.
It's amazing.
You're like, what the fuck is this? I'm trying to. I can't believe I'm blanking on the name of that book because I gotta check one more place for it.
Yeah.
I'm going to urinate and corner myself on this nice.
You know we are still recording.
Yeah, I'm urinating, people. Shit, if it doesn't get edited out, you will know that a man goes to bathroom. Bathroom waits. Bathroom is patient. Bathroom opens mouth. Mouth receives urine. The nation has been fed. Thank you.
Wow, that was absolutely disgusting.
Can't be no worse than what I was just able to take great, interesting joys in understanding. It felt like I was listening to a combination of a weird porn script and Biggie rapping about shitting on a woman. All comes together.
All I have to say is, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
But the nation is still fed. Thirst.
My favorite copy pasta like that is the ex-Marine sniper one. The fuck did you say to me, you little punk?
I don't know.
Oh, it's great. It's like 2 full paragraphs of just how he's a trained sniper and how he's going to track him down and kill him for disrespecting him. It's so funny. I'll read it off camera.
Okay.
Or off mic. It's so weird not actually like recording footage.
This is different.
It's going to make editing so much easier.
I gotta find this book real quick before we shut down. For
Sure,
the night.
yeah, I'm sure people will be wondering.
And I know if anybody from my book club hears this, like, how could you forget the name? Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
A book so crazy that there are so many, like, there are other books about, hey, this is like a guide for how to read this book. It has footnotes, right? That reference shit that you go back into the back and like, in like the back of the book, the appendix.
Yeah.
And you know, like a footnote is only like a couple sentences or maybe a paragraph. These are like pages.
Wow.
For one footnote. He makes up words, but you don't know if he made up a word or if it's an actual word. And then, like the made up words, right? You don't know like what they mean.
Right.
And the book is so just like fucked up and weird, and it's like 1,000 pages long. And you're like, what in the world is this?
Who picked this for your book club?
Well, here's the thing though, right? It's one of those books it's like, you have to read. Everybody has to read it. And people that read it like, this book is like life-changing. But it's
right.
like the most bizarre thing.
See, that's all I heard about Atlas Shrugged, and it was like, no, I read it, I got really bored.
Infinite Jest has a part where they're describing this tennis court, and it's like 3 or 4 pages of describing this tennis court and all the tunnels underneath the tennis court that the guys like to hide in so they can smoke weed. But they have to be careful because during certain times of the year, the tennis court, like it's got these gears and everything. Basically, it'll flip upside down to protect the court and everything during the winter.
Right.
And you got to be careful in the tunnels when that happens, because if you are, you can be crushed and killed or trapped in there, and you won't be, and no one will know you're in there, and they won't find your body until spring when they turn the tennis courts back around again.
Okay.
But he goes through and like describes every tunnel and thing, and it looks like this is labyrinthian, like maze of 3 pages of this.
So kind of like Stephen King.
Yeah. Only this guy's pretty celebrated.
Right. Well, hey, I mean, Stephen King's pretty celebrated.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like him, but he's pretty celebrated.
I'm not going to get into Stephen King.
I was bitching about Stephen King to some of my other friends the other day, and I've got one friend who likes Stephen King, one who doesn't. So the friend who didn't like him, he was like, "Well, here's the thing with Stephen King is that every single character who gets introduced is you get this, Jim. For 15 years, Jim had lived in this town, and before that, he had lived in Milwaukee, and he was born in Minnetonka." Grew up in a small town with 1 stoplight, and he just like went off on this perfect Stephen King description of a character.
It sounds like Garrison Keillor reading Stephen King, you know? Many people never heard of the dog named Cujo until one day it broke loose, started running through the town. Old man Smith saw him there, and he's like, "Look at that dog with shaving cream all over his face." And he thought it was funny because sometimes he used to shave his dog too, back when he was first learning how to shave as a boy. And his dad said, "You want to learn how to shave, son? Here, go shave old Poochie." Now, Poochie was his dad's dog that he had from a long time ago that had died one day during a horrible, tragic hunting accident. He wasn't actually hunting, but somehow the dog had gotten trapped with his foot on the rifle, and he shot himself in the head. They loved old Poochie, so they had him stuffed. And Poochie used to sit there in the living room, and when he had to learn how to shave, his dad said, "Well, here, let me show you how to shave." And that's when they first put shaving cream on good old Poochie. So when old Mr. Smith saw Cujo running down the street, he said, "Oh, look at that dog shaving cream on his face. Looks just like Poochie." You know? And then when the dog came running at him, he's like, "Come here, boy. Let me shave you." And that's when he saw that he might have had rabies, but they never really heard of rabies at the time. He used to call it the old foaming mouth. And so he's like, "That dog's got the old foaming mouth." And he tried to run inside, but, well, Miss Smith couldn't really run that well after the time in the war. Yeah, he had gone to go see the war. There was a movie playing that down at the old matinee, and there was a fire in the matinee. Well, not at that day. The fire had actually happened many years ago, but they left the seats in the theater, right, because they weren't really damaged that much. Plus, it was a historic landmark. So he used to like to sit up in the balcony. Well, one day that seat gave way in the old blistering wood, and his leg got caught. He pulled his leg out, and he was fine.
The same leg that he had the football injury on.
He was fine until one day, many months later, he was crossing the street and got hit by a car, and he thought to himself, "Yeah, I probably would have been able to dodge that car if I hadn't hurt my leg watching in the war." That's what he referred to the movie in the matinee was the war. So after getting hit by the car and losing his leg, and then when he saw old foaming mouth Cujo, he tried to run away, but well, it just didn't quite happen. And that's when the dog attacked him and started biting into him, and he's like, "You know what? This is nothing like Poochie. This is nothing like shaving a dog." And as Cujo bit into his throat, he thought to himself, he probably wouldn't have been able to find my throat so well if I hadn't shaved off my beard. This is kind of all Poochie's fault. And that's when he died.
About 3 hours. It's time to rise.
And that's another tale from Lake Wobegon. I fucking hate Garrison Keillor. And shitty ass stories that don't go anywhere. Huh?
I can tell.
But tell me that doesn't sound like one of
That
those
was
stories.
perfect. That was on the nose. It reminded me of the hippo in Five Nights at Freddy's Custom Night. There's like a hidden message, and that's his kill screen, is that he just goes off on like a 4-minute long story, and it's just like that, and it's just like, "Oh yeah, and we were having a picnic, and oh man, he gave me sweet tea mixed with lemonade. Have you ever had that? Oh, it's so good." And it just keeps going and going and going. It's so funny. It's like your penalty for losing. Because there's no way to skip it, so it's hilarious.
All right, well,
Anyway,
so this was the first, probably second, third, and fourth
probably,
podcast of Our Moms Think We're Funny. And hopefully you think so too. And if you do, then that means that you have the same taste as our moms do. So,
May God have mercy on your soul.
yeah, it's pretty sad because my mom doesn't think anything's funny. Except Archer.
That's pretty good.
Well, yeah,
Archer's
but
pretty
then
good.
if I try to short something out, she's like, I don't find that kind of stuff funny. I'm like, but you, like, the thing is that, you know, okay, whatever.
Oh, yeah, well, I think we've lost Wally. So,
Yeah, but we still have Roscoe, Roscoe Leroy. He's still with us.
Both of them bitches is out.
yeah, he's curling up, ready for sleep.
You know
I'm ready
why?
for sleep.
Because they're both bitches. That's why.
As Leroy Roscoe always says, if you're gonna be a bitch. If not, then stop bitching.
I remember that. That was good advice.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. We will be back with more later.
All right.
I will never say any form of nigga. I'm cured of that.
Did you hear what happened after
All right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.